Yeah, I've got lots of stories, but if I told all of them, I'd probably be sued or banned, because it always involves other people, doesn't it? We have our best stories about other people. But something funny you should know about elite athletes is that it's never our fault if we have a bad day at sport. It's always someone else. Blame the coach, blame the crowd, blame the next door neighbour's dog. We've always got a reason why we didn't win or whatever happened. And to give you an example, I was training for the LA Olympic Games way back in 1984, and I was living with a British diver, which must be why I became friends with the Brits, because they were hopeless, you were quite correct. And they still are, I did a good job. However, we got invited, we were all celebrities training in Miami, and we got invited to a golf day. Now, a typical athlete, golf, they come very hard, we'll be good at this. Of course, you know, we jump out of 30-story buildings and we do funny things as a diver. So how hard can playing golf be? So we turn up and it's what they call a pro-am. And obviously, as amateurs, we get to play with the professionals. And the guy who was reasonably well known back then in the, goodness me, the 80s was a guy called Hale Irwin, and he played very good golf, obviously. And so we were a little bit nervous, and we were on the first tee getting ready to hit the golf ball. And I remember I'm up there and I'm shaking and I'm like, please, just hit it, just go straight. Kind of shut your eyes. And I look up, it's going down the middle about 200 yards. And I'm like, yeah, no worries, not a hard game, what's next? And then my friend from Britain gets up, and he has never played. But he has the ego the size of, you know, my next door neighbour's bottom. I mean, so he gets up there, and we had to show him it's the other end to hold the club. He just thought the big head on the club, his head gripped it, until he knows what to hit the ball with. Anyway, he's standing up there to hit the ball. All's quiet, quite a good crowd watching around the first tee. And he swings, and of course nothing happens. The ball was still sitting on the tee. Total fresh air shot. And you could hear it. You could hear just that in the background. It's exactly what you could hear. It was snickering like, who the hell's this British idiot? But he's unperturbed, he's an elite athlete. He's been in the Olympics. No worries, don't panic. But he gets up there again, whoosh! Ball plops off the tee. The wind blew it off from the shot. And by now there's more laughter, and we're like, no, he didn't come with us, we don't know who he is. He's just terrible. Anyway, third time lucky, so he gets that club, whack! And it might dribble about 2-3 feet off the tee. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. But true to form, being an elite athlete, he turns to the crowd and he says, shit, this is a tough course. That's a typical elite athlete. It's not him, the course is too hard. That's all it was. So that's something certainly about divers, we're a bit crazy in the head. They say we're swimmers with their brains blown out, but we like to think we're getting more intelligent as life goes on. But how did I end up here in the USA? Good question. Let's go back about 46 years, which is quite a long time ago. And I had asthma as a child, and very, very badly. And obviously in the 50s and 60s, there weren't Ventolin or different things to keep you alive, basically. But according to the doctors, I had a strong will to survive. And I do remember being thrown in the back seat of the car, trying to get air into my lungs, being taken to the hospital and getting an injection. And that kept you going for your next attack. And but that was, in my mind, that was life at the time. I was 4, 5, 6, gosh knows, I was born with it. And I remember the doctor when I was about 7 or 8 said, well, obviously to my parents, this boy's got a strong will. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I don't know, but I certainly didn't want to let some breathing stop me from being alive and having fun. And the doctor in the early 60s said, hey listen, why don't you take up swimming? It's good for your lungs, it'll enlarge the bronchial passage, etc., etc. And you'll be able to breathe a bit easier, because that was really all they thought of in those days. So I took up swimming. Does anyone here do swimming? Okay, isn't it boring? I mean, really? It's a black line and you're like, okay, breathe. So I preferred something a bit more active and just thrill seeker, a bit like our lovely dancer here. Being active, doing all sorts of contortions is good fun. So there happened to be a diving pool at the pool where I dived, and I did a few belly flops. And obviously the Australian coaches were so good at diving in those days, they said, oh, he's got potential. You know, and just because they wanted to make money. So anyway, I stuck with it, and I got a little better as I went along and won a few state championships and then a national championship. And then I had my first international trip in 1974. And there I was, you know, I'm at an international meet. This is, you know, really exciting. It's in Germany, and I'm on board trying to be prim and proper. And this coach, I overheard him talking to my father, and he's from Holland, and he said, well, I don't know how to tell you this, Mr. Foley, but your son, he'll never make a dive. His legs and limbs are too long. And I remember hearing that, and I thought, okay, well, I'll show you. And probably that's what kept me going throughout the years, because God damn it, he was right. My legs are too long, my limbs are too long. And I came up against a guy called Greg Louganis, so I got my ass kicked. But the bottom line is, at the time I was the most successful diver Australia ever produced, and it was that one reason. It was like, if you tell me something I can't do, I'll go and show you I can do it. And I guess that's a little bit of my story here tonight, is that I got over my asthma, I went to 3 Olympic Games, I was national coach for Australia, I went and helped the Brits who were in dire straits, and now I'm here hoping to help the USA because they haven't won a diving medal for 3 Olympics. So anything's possible, and one of the great things about life itself or sport is that you never know where it'll take you, but it's a hell of a journey. And I really love that quote that you made before about we're too, I think we pay too much attention to the outcome. And it's exactly what is wrong with, if you like, USA diving. They're so focused on a medal, they're forgetting how to do the performance and the process. So hopefully I can help them through that, and if they can ever understand a word I say, they'll be successful.